There has been legislation in Idaho presented to allow the Idaho treasurer to invest in gold and silver that must be physically stored in Idaho. Representative Ron Nate put this forth. He says, with new concerns about financial instability, it makes sense for investors and it makes sense for states to turn to real assets, especially in terms of precious metals, to protect investments of their funds. I'll say also the Constitution lays out a bimetallic standard. Can you explain what your fiscal monetary policy, your relationship with alternative assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin would be as Idaho governor?
Yeah, so I will reference, your listeners, your viewers to go to the Keep Idaho plan, my Keep Idaho plan at votebundy.com for more details. But there's a huge problem with government overreach today. And it's the unlawful intrusion into the financial lives of individuals. And people just don't have the financial privacy anymore. And no matter which way you spin it, our currency system is a violation of the Fourth Amendment, and we should be able to be protected in that. And so I, as governor, I intend on using, I guess we'll say cryptocurrency and obviously we're going to have to identify which ones and use those, but as using them as official state currency, where people can even pay their taxes in it, where the state will use and that currency to pay its own bills in, and encourage that freedom that people receive when they use cryptocurrency. And I have a lot to learn. I am in no way an authority on these things, whether Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. I have a lot to learn, but I understand enough and see how it frees the people up and how it keeps us from being controlled through basically a world currency. Because what's happening to the states, really, I should say it this way, what's happening to the world when it comes to the US government printing money, and actually every dollar that they print actually makes the rest of the world less wealthy. And the same thing is happening to the people in the states. It's just not quite as impactful because we are part of the United States. So the currency benefits us more than the rest of the world. But this idea that you can print paper money and then send it to another country and they give us their hard-earned goods, and that paper money, the only thing that it was, the value it has is simply the value of the printing and the paper itself. That's a disservice to the rest of the world. And it's a disservice to the people of this country. And eventually, someone's going to have to pay the piper. And I would like to see the state of Idaho well entrenched in the trading using cryptocurrency and other currencies that truly have value to them. And so anyway, there's again a lot that I need to learn. I'm mostly promoting the freedom of those currencies, and I want to use that currency to promote trade and have it outside the control of the government. It's that simple.
Idaho's neighbor, Wyoming, has implemented blockchain legislation, a sandbox approach so that entrepreneurs can experiment without worrying if they run afoul of certain laws. As long as they weren't criminally intending to do anything, they're okay and protected in Wyoming. And I imagine that Idaho would easily forge an alliance on that front with Wyoming. I will say this though, Bitcoin is the freedom-minded cryptocurrency, and it's going to become very clear. And I see, so cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are a great hedge against inflation, but they're not so much the safe haven of last resort that is gold and silver. That's kind of your ultimate, just like safe haven. Can you speak a little bit to gold and silver in Idaho?
Yeah, I do believe that we are going to see where the world won't accept the dollar as the world currency. I think it's going to happen, fairly soon. We see Russia, we see China already working diligently to try to create another type of currency that will be accepted as the world currency. When that happens, the dollar will, I don't know, I don't think it'll fully collapse, but I do believe that it'll be probably, anywhere from a 25 to 30, a third of what the value of what it is now. I think that that's realistic. I think we've seen that historically in times past. And when the world cannot trust a certain currency because it's been debased, then eventually it loses its world influence and no longer becomes the world currency. And when that happens, it immediately loses a tremendous amount of value because it can't be traded or printed anymore. It can't be traded as world currency, and therefore it can't be printed and be spent as a world currency. So with that being said, I think that it's very wise for a state like Idaho to be able to start to create or use another currency, to have it backed by gold. So, there is a gold standard there. And therefore, you protect the people of the state and those that are trading with the people of the state for when the dollar no longer is the world currency. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I just don't think I am. I just don't see how the world is going to allow the dollar to continue to be its currency when the United States government has not backed it and just keeps printing more dollars as if money literally grew on trees. And again, I have a lot to learn in this world of digital currency. And I just know in my personal finances, my personal business, that if I write a check, then I better well be able to back that check. And also, I know that anytime that I'm in a hard situation, whether it might be for finances or trying to grow, if I have hard assets where I can actually do something or trade, that becomes more valuable than any money. And I believe that those same principles apply when it comes to a national currency, world currency, or a state currency.
Head on over to GoldSilverBitcoin.com for more content like this, as well as long form written articles about precious metals, Bitcoin, and other topics. Also, check out our shop where you can get precious metals, storable foods, and all sorts of other cool survival and prep gear as well.